Hello and welcome. This is Rob Thomas, your everything Microsoft Enterprise Cloud Architect. And today I really want to dig in a really hot topic, a core area of Microsoft I absolutely love and I think you're going to get a lot of value out of. So today we want to cover Microsoft Azure and dig into it and answer the age-old question is, what is Azure? Now, before we jump into this, the first thing I want to do is give a shout out to our sponsors, and that is the Enterprise Software Solution, our software dudes. These guys are great. If you're looking to purchase any Office 365, Microsoft Dynamics, Copilot, Azure, Windows servers, Microsoft SQL Server, and a few other products that are in their lineup. I highly encourage you to reach out to them. These are a great company, and I highly recommend them. Now, without further ado, let's jump into Microsoft Azure and what is it? All right, what is Azure? Now, one, we know Azure is global, right? And basically, Azure is a computer. I'm showing you an actual real life Azure data farm. Azure is technically made up of a server or a computer. And it is a computer that is on all the time. And this computer is connected to multiple computers on the data farm. So you can see here, they're racked up. And this computer is built to do some really dynamic stuff. Like it's able to handle the load of multiple millions of people. You can see all this wiring here to access those computers, and it's going to give it enough compute power to handle that load. So you can see a IT worker here making sure all these computers are running. So that's technically what Azure is. It's a computer that is shared across a network, across multiple people. Now, what does that mean to me? So Azure is across now in 60 regions across the world and constantly blowing up and adding into new regions like Israel, New Zealand, Spain, Italy, Poland, Finland, Belgium, and West US 3. So I got a really great picture. I think this would be real value. So this is the actual really cool Azure global infrastructure. And you can just see here, this is the data farms, right? So this is the Microsoft data farms where they have their data farms and they deploy Azure across their data farms here, and they sell the service off to business owners or anyone that wants to purchase servers. So let's get into that. Let's talk a little bit more about what does that look like, right? I see it across multiple regions. I see this is what an actual data farm looks like, real life data farm, right? You can see here. And how can this enable me? So Azure is an enabler. We talked about the physical, right? And also Azure can be virtual. So with Azure, basically what's happening, it's broken down into these four things. It's going to be, we talked about visual, and you can create these virtuals, but it's really infrastructure as a service. So IaaS, platform as a service, and then software as a service, right? And Azure is really powerful because it'll enable you to touch these four pillars, right? So what does that mean? So basically on-premise is you're spinning up your own Azure infrastructure, and you're managing everything. You own everything. You're responsible for everything, right? Now, if you go infrastructure as a service, Microsoft is responsible for these four things, right? Virtual visualization, server storage, and then you're responsible for application data and runtime. So now you're handing over some of the more complex responsibility over it. Now, if you want to hand over more responsibility, that's platform as a service. That's runtime, middleware, OS, visualization, right? And this is managed by Microsoft. And then you just manage the application and data. Now, for business owners like myself, we're starting up, busy, you don't have time, you don't have the team, you're going to use software as a service where Microsoft manages just about everything, right? And the only thing really you are responsible for is really data. This is kind of shared, but it's pretty much data is your responsibility, and you pretty much own your data. So that is a good breakdown of what Azure is, how Azure is broken into four models. And these four models explain your responsibility with Azure, right? Now, That's all I'm going to cover in this video. In the next video, I'm going to go a little bit more depth. I'm going to cover like virtual machines, cloud services, websites, mobile services, like really getting a little bit more depth of Azure. But I wanted to just answer the age-old question: what is Azure, and what are you responsible for in the Azure infrastructure? And Azure is made up of actual servers and a server farm. So I hope this is really helpful. I hope I was able to answer a lot of questions and really empower you to really get a good grasp of what Azure is and give you a good overview. So look forward to connecting with you in the next video where I'm going to go in a lot more depth. Thanks so much for your time and have a great day.